What is the iPad Pro 10.5? The new iPad Pro 2, or the iPad Pro 10.5, isn't a tablet for everybody. If you want something for Netflix binges and web browsing, the iPad 9.7 inch is all you need. This is a tablet for those who want the best and are prepared to pay for it. The iPad Pro 10.5 offers the best screen, best camera and best performance ever seen on a tablet. When iOS 11 hits later in the year, it'll also inch ever closer to being a viable laptop replacement. But all this comes at a price. With a starting cost of £619, options going over £1,000, and lots of pricey add-ons, this is slowly encroaching on MacBook territory. For some it'll be worth every penny, but it might feel like overkill for others. Key features. Review price, £619. 10.5-inch ProMotion display, W/120Hz refresh. Apple A10X CPU. 4GB RAM. 64GB/256GB/512GB storage. Apple Pencil and Smart Keyboard support. iPad Pro 10.5, design. The design of the iPad has evolved very little since its inception 7 years ago. The iPad Air slimmed things down and a 12.9-inch Pro from 2015 stretched things out, but the basic look hasn't changed much. There are a few key alterations to this year's model that make it feel a lot more like a modern tablet. The bezel on a tablet doesn't bother me as much as it does on a phone, since you need more edge space to get a proper grip. But it did feel like there was a lot of wasted space on the iPad Pro 9.7-inch, and it's nice to see Apple addressing it here. The rest of the tablet feels very familiar and, as before, the aluminium back offers no flex and the chamfered edges still reflect light in a very eye-catching way. The 4 speakers sit next to each corner and there's a headphone jack on the top and a lightning connector on the bottom, along with the 3-pin smart connector on the side. It's all very run-of-the-mill stuff, but I can't deny it's a well-built tablet that looks good. The 10.5-inch iPad Pro comes in Apple's usual array of hues, including space gray, gold, silver and rose gold, but sadly no matte or jet black like the iPhone 7. iPad Pro 10.5, screen. Apple says that the new 10.5-inch screen here offers 20% more usable space than the outgoing 9.7-inch model, and you will notice that extra screen real estate. But, if you found the 9.7-inch too small, I don't think the extra 4/5 of an inch will really make much difference. Apple claims the larger display lets it include a full-size virtual keyboard, but for me it still feels much smaller than that. What's really special about the display here is Apple's so-called ProMotion tech that powers the 2224 by 1668 resolution IPS LCD Retina display. iPad Pro 10.5, performance. The iPad Pro 10.5 is Apple's fastest tablet yet, by quite some distance. Although, during my time with the tablet I often felt all the power was almost overkill, at least right now. Running the show is Apple's A10X Fusion CPU, which has an extra core when compared to the A10 Fusion in the iPhone 7, totaling 6, along with 4GB RAM. That's double the memory of the 9.7-inch version, but the same as the previous 12.9-incher. There is so much power here that comparing it to other tablets is downright unfair. In Geekbench 4, the iPad Pro 10.5 scores 9,300 in the multi-core tests, which is double that of both the Pixel C and Samsung Galaxy Tab S3. It also blitzes even the top phone flagships, with the OnePlus 5 and Samsung Galaxy S8 scoring below 6,800. iPad Pro 10.5, camera and audio. Does a tablet need a really great camera? Personally I would say no, but Apple clearly disagrees. The optics on this iPad are basically the same as the iPhone 7, which still stands up as one of the best camera phones around. It's a 12-megapixel sensor with a wide f/1.7 lens and a flash. It captures incredibly good pictures for a tablet, with lots of detail, and that wide aperture makes it usable even when the light isn't great. The app is just like its iPhone counterpart. With a good auto HDR mode and live photos, it shoots 4K video, too, which can then be transferred to iMovie and edited right on the iPad. The front-facing camera is arguably more important on a tablet, and Apple has upped this again to match the iPhone 7. It's a 7-megapixel sensor capable of shooting 1080p video, and the whole screen turns into the world's biggest True Tone flash. This is great for FaceTime calls, but I can't imagine many will use this for their selfies.